All right, we are here at the film festival. I'm going to LA right now for a film festival called the HollyShorts Film Festival, and I have two films in there. One is called Leap of Faith, which I made as an executive producer for the Seahawks in my time there a little over a year ago, and the other one was a film called Sense of Emergency, which I was an editor, a colorist, and a script supervisor for. So I have my flight into Burbank in about 35 minutes. Running for the green, got you blind and high hope. All of these illusions so confusing, oh no. All right, so I landed about an hour and a half ago, I'd say. They actually deplaned the plane from the front and the back, which was the first time they've ever done both for me, which was cool. It was faster, which is good. Always good getting off a plane. Just got to the Airbnb. It's beautiful out. It's about 79, 80 degrees. I'm headed over to the theater in a few minutes to get my all-access pass for the week. We're gonna head out now because I'm gonna go get that pass and hopefully find maybe a little snack or bite to eat and maybe another coffee. So let's head out. What we do, babe, what we do, babe, what we do. All right, so got my filmmakers pass. This place is extremely cool, but I just ordered a smoothie. I'm gonna catch an Uber to the Kodak house for some cinematography event. So gonna head over there right now. Someone quickly, 'cause a girl just really needs to know. So we are at the HollyShorts Film Festival. The film will be playing tomorrow night, but we're here just enjoying the night and getting a lay of the land.
What are you gonna order?
I'm probably gonna move over to the other side and get an icy, because I already had an espresso martini tonight. So I think it's icy for some movies tonight. Huh?
Thank you.
Is that too much? Oh. What are you doing? So it is day 2, and the first thing on the agenda is we have the will.i.am studio tour. The will.i.am studio we went to, it was extremely cool. Cool to see just someone's space created completely from scratch from exactly what they had envisioned for their space to be. The next thing on the agenda is dinner and then the Sense of Emergency screening. So for dinner, we're going to an Italian spot, and then the thing we're all here for is the Sense of Emergency premiere, which we're extremely excited for. It's in the Drama 2 block, which is a 10 o'clock screening. So yes, a very late screening, a very late night, but also see a lot of the other films that are in that block. About to head to dinner now, and there's something about film festivals that are just like a feeling, and I'm not experienced. This is like my first one, so take this with a grain of salt. But like this being a shorts film festival, you see a lot of people that are really just like executing on passion projects. It's inspiring to see people that have the same mindset as you, have a lot of the same drive as you, be able to put something together. I'm not always been a person that has been able to sit down and watch film and just like appreciate it for what it is, but there's something about seeing the story, there's something about seeing levels to a film, there's something about seeing the cinematography, the art, and knowing that a lot of effort, a lot of time went into these pieces. And one thing that you see is that a lot of them have a personal meaning behind them, and that's always inspiring, because anyone can create something, but seeing your personality in what you create is really inspiring.
If I take you down, would you really hold me down and be your best friend?
Madeline Down, writer, director, producer of Sense of Emergency.
We all have something, or someone that we're trying to save. Some of us, it's probably ourselves.
All right, so it's a real early morning. We had a 10 p.m. screening, which means that we got back at I want to say 1:30. Went to this place, about a 7-8 minute walk, got a cappuccino and a croissant, and then head back to the Airbnb and do some editing, take a couple of meetings, and then see what the day has in store. All right, so it is 5:30 right now, and I really just chilled today. Took a ton of naps, caught up on some sleep. I'm headed over to the theater area to get some dinner. There's not much on the agenda for the rest of the day. There is, however, a party tonight, some rooftop party that there's a shuttle going from the theater, so I might check that out later. Not sure yet, we'll see.
I've been dreaming about your kisses last night. Do you think that I could get you back up, baby? Because I need it again.
All right, so it is Saturday. It's the weekend, and this is the first day I'm gonna just explore. I'm not going to any panels, not going to any screenings, none of that stuff. Just kind of taking myself, my camera, and just walking and see what we come up upon. All right, so I'm 1.5 miles down, and I'm actually going to a Severance mural that is about 3 miles away. And you might be wondering, why am I walking when it is about 80 degrees and very humid? Well, I like to walk when I'm in a city I haven't really been to or explored. And I haven't explored the Hollywood area a lot, so that's why I'm walking.
Where those pictures used to be, now it's shattered broken glass. And every time I walk across, it's a reminder of a past.
Art is absolutely insane. The fact that someone made that from scratch is insane. And when you take a second to realize that and appreciate that, it's pretty crazy.
We vibing under the city lights. Wherever the wind go take us. If it's good, we make it contagious. Said we vibing, laying on black sand beaches, thinking of what life teaches. So glad and fall from the deep end.
All right, so I want to touch on the post-production process and the editing process that took place with Sense of Emergency. And it all starts with a director who understands the post-production process and editing. And it starts with Madeline Down, who was the director and writer of this film. I worked with her prior to this for about 7 years with the Seahawks. We worked together on almost everything. I consider her my closest collaborator and really one of my best friends. When I say someone who understands the post-production process in the writing of a film or in the directing of a film, that's Maddie to a T. And when someone's able to write and direct with that in mind, when you come back to the edit after the production's all done and you come back to the script, you come back to the storyboard, you come back to all those things, it makes decision-making a lot easier. It makes experimenting a lot easier because you're not filling holes of a story. You're trying new things. You're seeing what fits. You're seeing what flows. You're seeing what works together. The next thing I want to touch on is momentum and how I thought it was overrated with this project. A lot of projects I jump into, I kind of just put my head down and edit till I literally cannot see straight anymore or I have to get up and move. But with this film, we were able to have start points and have end points. So say we wanted to start on page 1 of the script and end on page 3 of the script in the first day. We're able to do so. We're able to open the book and then close the book. Even if we had more in us to keep editing or keep putting the story together, we knew we had to close the book because coming back the next day was going to give us a better product because we could ultimately rest on it, sleep on stuff, and not come back to the timeline exhausted. To be able to step away and step back to things and set deadlines and set boundaries, I think is extremely important. The next thing is experimenting without fear. And what I mean by that is trying things that might not work. The amount of times me and Maddie were in this edit and we tried something, mostly me, I tried something stupid that was never gonna work and we looked at each other, laughed, and then I put my hands on the keyboard and hit Control Z, happened more times than I can explain. There's a lot of decisions that had to be made, and that kind of goes back to the first point of having a director that understands post. A lot of times with 9 out of 10 failures, that one thing that sticks is something that can change the film or change the momentum of it. And something I always like to touch on, and this kind of goes back to momentum and how documentary editing is different than narrative editing, is in narrative editing, the story's the story. It was written a specific way, it was directed a specific way, and the story's the story. There's not a lot of room to kind of recreate the story. But with documentary editing, once you put everything in that timeline, it's kind of a free-for-all in how the story's gonna flow. That's ultimately one thing that I found different in a lot of my documentary editing work versus my first narrative. And then finally hitting export. We all know that the hardest part of this whole process is starting, but another hard part is just ending and knowing that you can be proud of whatever you're exporting. But being able to hit export on this, sit in this, watch it go through the film festival run, watching it go through premieres, watching all those things and being able to be proud of something you put together, you just have to enjoy it and you have to accept. There's a million things I can talk about with Sense of Emergency. There's a million things I can talk about the editing process, the ins and outs, the trailers, all those things, each cut, each version we got, the coloring process, all of that stuff. And I know there's a lot that Maddie can talk about with all that stuff too, because we've talked about it a ton off camera, but these are just a few things that I think were very helpful in the editing process and some things that I really took away from it when I look back at this film. Back to the vlog. All right, so this is where I'm gonna wrap this week in the life at. Tonight is the last night I'm in Los Angeles. It's the last night of the HollyShorts Film Festival. To sum up this week, it's been great to be able to be around like-minded people. I think that's the main thing, is to be able to be around like-minded people that all share a similar passion to you. And then the other aspect of it is the community, being able to come here with people that I made the film with, people that I get along with, people that I truly see the passion I have also in them has been absolutely great. And something that I think a lot of us take for granted is a community, is the people that are around us, is the people we create with. The moral of the story was to take you along to kind of see what goes on at these film festivals. It's a lot of meeting people, it's a lot of networking, and it's a lot of just celebrating other people's successes and a lot of times other people's dreams coming to fruition. One of the most important things is to be able to hit export, and especially for me as an editor, the hardest part is always starting a project and the hardest part is always hitting export. So being able to do that step and then do the step of the export, I mean, it's a success in itself, and to be able just to do the thing, I think is something that is very underlooked in this process, in this whole thing, and in this mindset. If we get into any more film festivals, I'll make sure I take my camera with me so you guys can experience it too and experience the film and all of those things. But as always, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.